Central angles and arcs. Basically, what you're going to be doing, if I can find it here, is, first of all, I guess we have to define the central angle. Anybody know what a central angle is? Probably not. Anybody gone today? Probably.
No.
Nobody. If you have a circle,
No one. No one, Maggie. And Maggie.
are gone?
Yeah.
Wait, but no, I saw Noah come to school. Yeah, he did. Oh, maybe I did. Maybe that was something else. A central angle and a arc here. Here is what they're asking you for with a central angle. This is what we call a central angle. A central angle is an angle formed by two radii, I guess, or whatever the plural of that is, that form an angle with the center of the circle. Okay. It is also called, it forms, what is it called? Pi pieces are called what in math? Does anybody know? The mathematical name for a pi piece? Those are called sectors. A sector of that. This is an arc. It goes from here to there. A, B, C. You're going to be given that sort of information, and they're going to ask you this here. What is the measure of, boo, what do you suppose that little curvy line means? No. It's an arc. Arc is a part of a circle. This little gizmo gadget here. You know, when you talk about the, a 3-point line is called the arc. Outside the arc, it's not a whole circle. It's a part of the circle. This is an arc. Notice it doesn't have a K, because if it had a K, it would be Noah's arc, and that's not what it is. Let me give a couple dimensions here. This is 60 degrees, and this is 6 inches. Okay. Now, how in the world would you ever be able to figure out this distance from here to here? Anybody suggestions on that? And this gets into a little deeper thinking, which should scare some of you, but some of you should be excited about that, Ryan.
You find out how what fraction of the circle it is because the circle is.
Yes, absolutely. Fractions of circles. That's the most important part you have to think about today. And in order to find fractions of circles, one must realize that every circle, I don't like it that big. A circle is, write this in big letters, 360 degrees. The total number of degrees in a circle is 360 degrees. So what you're going to have to do, children, okay, the first thing you start off is by saying, okay, well, I know this is 60 degrees. My arc, this arc is what fraction of the circle? If it's only 60 degrees out of 360 degrees, that means that arc only is 1/6. Mine's drawn a little bigger, I believe. I kind of got it big there. This arc here is 1/6 of the whole circle. And then you'll go, how do I know how big around a circle is? We do have formulas for that. It's called its diameter. What's the formula for the diameter of a circle? Mia Schwarz. Diameter equals, anybody, going once, going twice, going 3 times. Kayleen Shellhammer, diameter is? Circumference equals, Kayleen? I always wonder why those blank stares come on. Yeah, pi times diameter. And what are you going to do to your pi times diameter? Because you might want 1/6 of it, you're going to divide it by 6 because it's only 1/6 of it. And then guess what your answer is going to be there? Oh wait, is that right or wrong? What is my diameter? I'm sorry, I misled you there. Diameter is what? 12 inches. Circumference equals pi times 12, all divided by 6. Anybody see any cross canceling we can do there? Once, twice. Brooke, I can do what? Right, 6 goes in 12 how many times? 2. So the arc, and you would label it like this, please do this, arc AC equals 2 pi. If they tell you to leave pi in terms of pi. If they tell you that pi is 3.14, guess what you're going to have to do? Yeah, you're going to have to take 2 times 3.14 and get 6.28. And again, that's arc AC equals 6.28 inches there. But again, it's all based on knowing that there's 360 degrees in a circle and then you're cutting that into pieces. Of course you're going to say, let's try something. Let's do another one. Yes. If you want to look at the problem in the book, we're going to do the practice problem there. Practice A, B, C, D. Let's walk ourselves through this here. Let me give you a circle. Make it a big circle. Tell me what it looks like a circle. Thanks for all your help. What's happening to this circle? Ooh, I'm cutting this into 9 pieces. Does it say 9 pieces? No. Oh, when a circle is divided into 8. Let's do that. Lines. What color? Let's make them blue lines. Lines 8s are pretty easy, are they not? Cut it in half. Cut it in half. Cut it in half. Cut it in half. So that's kind of happy with that? Most of you don't care. That's pretty good. What's it say here? Right away, this circle is divided into 8s. What is the measure of each acute central angle? Okay. If you divide this evenly into 8 equal pieces, letter A says, what is each central angle? Every one of these is going to be the same measurement. How do I find that out for letter A? Cameron English? If I'm cutting my circle into 8 pieces, what am I going to do? Exactly. For letter A, you're going to take 360 degrees. It's cut into 8 equal pieces. Fortunately for you, that goes in there nice and evenly. How many times? 45. Yeah, every central angle here is 45 degrees. Every one of them. Letter B says, what is the measure of arc CD? Here's C, there's D. They want the measure of the distance from there to there. Can they tell us what the circles divided into 8s, what is the measure of arc CD? You know what, they're only asking for degrees. They don't ask for distance here. Did they ask for distance? They did, but was... Oh, I see. They have to make sure when you look at this, they'll tell you they want, there's 2 different things they'll ask for. They'll ask for the length of arc CD, which we can't do because we don't have a distance, none of this distance, or they'll just tell you the measure of arc CD. When they ask you for that, that's in degrees. How many degrees is it from here to here? And the measure of the arc, people, is the same thing as the measure of the central angle. If this is 45 degrees, the measure of the arc in degrees is 45 degrees, so that's the same. Now, something else you have to watch out for is there's, believe it or not, children, believe it or not, if you think about C and D here, there's actually 2 different angles there. What are they? Well, you have this angle that we talked about, but you also have, this is also another angle formed by those 2. 90% of the time, unless they specify it otherwise, it's always the small one. But if the book says, what is the length of the major arc, then, as I spelled that wrong, major arc means you're using the big arc formed by those two sides of that angle, which should be pretty simple for you. Major arc CD would be what? Well, if there's 360 degrees in a circle, and this takes up 45 of them, how many degrees is going to be the big 360 minus 45? Ryan is
350.
315 degrees. 315 degrees. Now, letter D asks, it says if the diameter of the circle is 20 centimeters, if the diameter is 20 centimeters, what is the measure of the length of arc CD? What is the length of CD? And again, that goes back to knowing my circumference formula, which is what, Cabran? Circumference equals pi times diameter. Okay. I know my diameter, it is 20, correct? And I'm splitting the circle into how many equal pieces? 8. Does it tell me to use 3.1 point for pi? Yes, it does. This one says use 3.14 for pi. So you end up switching out pi for 3.14 times 20 times 8. Is there a quicker way to do that rather than multiplying 3.14 times 20 and then dividing by 8? You could say use a calculator. Or not. Would be a faster way. The fastest way, most efficient way to do this problem. 3.14 times 20 times 8, or divided by 8. Fastest way is, Brooke Kala. Okay, reduce 20 and 8, divide them both by 4, you end up with 2 and 5. Could you do anything else to speed up your life? Brooke? Yeah, since 3.14 is 1/4 is an even number, you could cut that in half. What's half of 3.14? Ooh, who said that? Who? Andrew W. Yeah. Cut that in half and then you get rid of the 2. So the answer is going to be what you get when you have 1.57 times 5, which is 35, 3, 28. 7.85 is the measure, whatever it is, inches, is the measure of that arc CD. Does that sound like fun to anybody but me? Obviously not. It does sound like fun to you?
I think that sounds really fun.
Incredibly fun or just really fun?
Incredibly.
Let's not go over